Today, I bring you 4 big and budget-friendly dessert recipes, perfect for the whole family. These are generous portions, great for sharing at gatherings, family meals, or even for gifting to friends and neighbors. Because who doesn't love receiving a delicious homemade treat? Plus, making larger batches saves time and effort, so you'll have something sweet ready for several days without having to cook again. So stay with me, because in this video, you'll find easy, refreshing, and absolutely delicious desserts that will impress everyone without breaking the bank. And don't worry about the measurements, I'll be giving both European and American conversions so that everyone can follow along effortlessly. Now, let's get started. For this dessert, we will need 2 packets of powdered whipping cream or chantilly, each weighing 48 grams, which is about 1.7 ounces per packet. We will also use 3 packets of gelatin, which will help give our dessert a firm and delicious texture. Our main fruit will be fresh strawberries, but this part is optional since you can substitute them with any other fruit you prefer, such as peaches, raspberries, or mango, which all go perfectly with this recipe. Additionally, we need 4 bananas, which will add a sweet and creamy touch, very cold milk to whip the cream, and María biscuits or any other type of biscuit you like. The mold I am using measures 38 by 25 centimeters, which is approximately 15 by 10 inches. We start by placing the biscuits in the mold. We will use 1.5 packs of María biscuits and break them into large pieces. This will help create a more interesting texture, as some parts will stay crunchy while others will soften from absorbing the moisture of the cream and gelatin. Now, let's prepare the first gelatin. We take 1 packet of raspberry gelatin, which is 72 grams or 2.5 ounces, and add 1 cup of very hot water, which is 250 milliliters or 8.5 fluid ounces. Meanwhile, we whip the cream. In a mixing bowl, add 2 packets of powdered whipping cream, each 48 grams or 1.7 ounces, and pour in 1.5 cups of very cold milk, which is 300 milliliters or 10 fluid ounces. If you prefer a creamier version, you can substitute the milk and powdered cream with 500 milliliters or 16.9 fluid ounces of liquid dairy or non-dairy whipping cream. Before turning on the mixer, stir the ingredients a little to prevent the powder from flying everywhere, and then beat on medium-high speed until the mixture doubles in volume and becomes firm. It's important that the gelatin is not hot when we incorporate it later, because if it's too warm, it could melt the whipped cream and affect the final texture of the dessert. Now that our whipped cream is ready and the raspberry gelatin has cooled, slowly add the gelatin to the whipped cream while continuing to beat for 3 more minutes. This will help it blend well and give the cream a soft pink color, while also making it firmer. The next step is to moisten the biscuits with half a cup of milk. If you prefer, you can use fruit juice instead, such as orange juice, raspberry juice, or even coffee, depending on the flavor you want to highlight. Once the biscuits are nicely soaked, cover them with all the cream, making sure to spread it evenly with a spatula. Then, place the mold in the refrigerator while we prepare the fruit. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. It really helps me keep creating content for you. Take 3 or 4 bananas and cut them into large pieces. Then, do the same with 300 grams or 10.5 ounces of fresh strawberries. The best thing about this recipe is that you can use any type of fruit you like, such as kiwi, mango, or berries, to give it a different touch each time you make it. Once the fruit is ready, arrange it evenly over the whipped cream and gelatin layer. Now, let's prepare the final layer of gelatin, which will give our dessert a beautiful shine and help keep the fruit fresh for longer. For this, we take 2 packets of cherry gelatin, each weighing 72 grams or 2.5 ounces, and add 1 cup of very hot water, which is 250 milliliters or 8.5 fluid ounces. Stir well until completely dissolved and then add 1 cup of very cold water, with the same measurement. To get a clearer gelatin, you can strain it before pouring it over the fruit. Carefully pour the gelatin over the cream and fruit, ensuring that it covers the entire surface evenly. Place the mold in the refrigerator and let it chill for 1 hour, or until the gelatin is fully set. Once it's ready, gently unmold and enjoy this delicious, refreshing dessert. The combination of the soft biscuits, airy whipped cream, and fruity gelatin is simply irresistible. It has the perfect balance of creaminess and freshness, making it an ideal treat for hot summer days. If you liked this recipe, you can support me by sharing the video on your social media. It really helps me a lot. Also, make sure to check out my other videos for more easy and delicious recipes. And don't go anywhere just yet, because the recipes coming up next are even better. If you thought this one was delicious, wait until you see what's next: big, family-sized desserts that are just as easy and budget-friendly. Perfect for sharing at gatherings, family meals, or even gifting to friends and neighbors. You won't want to miss them, so stay tuned because the best is yet to come. And now we're making a layered honey cake, one of the most famous and beloved cakes in my family. The combination of caramel-flavored layers, semolina cream, and tangy jam is simply special. Stay with me, take notes, and learn this fantastic recipe. In a saucepan, melt 120 g, 4.2 ounces, of butter with 200 g, 7 ounces, of honey over medium heat. Once the honey is melted, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 250 g, 8.8 ounces, of sugar. Stir well and heat until the sugar is fully dissolved, then let it boil for 1 minute. Once done, remove the pan from the heat and let it cool completely. On a clean work surface or in a large bowl, place approximately 900 g, 7¼ cups, of sifted flour, but keep some extra flour aside. Make a well in the center and add 2 eggs. Then, pour in the cooled honey mixture, followed by 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 50 to 100 milliliters, 3.3 to 6.7 tablespoons, of cold milk, adding only as much as needed to form a soft dough. Grate in some orange zest for extra flavor. Mix and knead everything well until you get a soft, elastic dough that's easy to handle. Don't forget that you can find all the ingredients written down in the pinned comment and in the video description. This way, you can easily check them while preparing the recipe, making sure you don't miss anything. Before you start, take a moment to review the list so you have everything ready. This will make the process even smoother and more enjoyable. Divide the dough into 4 equal portions. Lightly flour your work surface and roll out 4 large sheets of 42 by 33 centimeters, 16.5 by 13 inches. This is the size of my baking trays. Also, prepare parchment paper sheets of the same size beforehand so you can place the raw dough sheets on them before baking. Once you've rolled out all the sheets, trim the edges to make them even. Then, prick them lightly with a fork to prevent them from puffing up during baking. For a static oven, bake each sheet separately at 180 degrees Celsius 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. If using a convection oven, bake multiple sheets together at the same temperature for 10 to 15 minutes. After baking, let the sheets cool completely. Once cooled, they can be stacked with parchment paper in between and stored for up to a week before assembling the cake. At this stage, the kitchen smells absolutely amazing. Honey, vanilla, and orange zest create a warm, inviting aroma. Now, let's make the semolina cream, a quick and easy filling. In a saucepan, bring 750 milliliters, 3¼ cups, of milk to a boil along with 2 packets of vanilla sugar and 250 g, 8.8 ounces, of sugar. When the milk starts boiling, slowly sprinkle in the semolina while stirring constantly to prevent lumps. Cook the semolina on low heat for 2 minutes, stirring continuously. Once done, transfer the mixture to another bowl, cover it well, and let it cool completely at room temperature. Now, take 300 g, 10.5 ounces of softened butter and beat it for 1 minute until creamy. Gradually add the cooled semolina mixture in batches, beating only until fully combined. And just like that, our cream is ready. For the jam layer, I chose homemade apricot jam mixed with homemade berry jam because they have a fantastic balance of sweetness and tanginess. You can also use rosehip jam, plum jam, mixed berry jam, or any jam of your choice. Let's assemble our cake. Place one sheet on a tray and spread half of the semolina cream evenly over it. Add the second sheet, press it down slightly, and spread all the jam evenly. Add the third sheet, press it gently, and spread the remaining semolina cream over the top. Finally, place the fourth and final sheet on top. This is a giant cake, measuring 42 by 33 centimeters, 16.5 by 13 inches, and yielding 44 individual portions, perfect for serving a large group or saving for later. To set the cake, place a clean sheet of parchment paper on top, followed by a wooden board or a flat tray with some weight on it. This helps the layers stick together evenly. Leave the cake in the pantry overnight or refrigerate it. The longer this cake rests, the softer and more flavorful it becomes. Ideally, let it sit for 2 days before serving for the best texture. The honey layers need 24 to 48 hours to absorb moisture and soften, transforming into a tender, melt-in-your-mouth delight. The cake sheets can be prepared up to 10 days in advance and stored lightly wrapped in the refrigerator or pantry. Then, simply fill and assemble the cake 1 to 2 days before serving. This makes it a practical dessert for special occasions. Once assembled, this cake stays fresh in the fridge for 1 week and can also be frozen for up to 3 months. And don't go anywhere just yet, because the next recipe is truly special. It was my grandmother's absolute favorite, and every time I make it, it brings back beautiful memories of her. She passed away last year, but this dessert keeps her spirit alive in my kitchen. The flavors, the aroma, and the love she put into every step make it one of the most meaningful recipes I know. I'd love to share it with you, just as she shared it with me. Stay with me, you won't want to miss it. Now I'm sharing a very special dessert with you that brings back so many childhood memories. This was my grandmother's recipe, the one she used to make for me, and it has always been my absolute favorite. The combination of soft, airy sponge cake with poppy seeds and coconut, topped with a silky mascarpone and condensed milk cream, is simply irresistible. We begin by beating 10 egg whites with a pinch of salt until soft peaks form. This step is crucial to achieving a light and airy base. Once the egg whites have doubled in volume, we gradually add 200 g, 1 cup, of sugar, beating continuously until we get a glossy and foamy texture. Next, we gently fold in the dry ingredients, 150 g, 1¼ cups, of poppy seeds, 100 g, 1 cup, of shredded coconut, and 3 tablespoons of flour, 24 g/0.85 ounces. We mix everything using gentle folding motions with a whisk or silicone spatula to keep as much air in the batter as possible. This is the key to getting a fluffy and delicate sponge. Preheat your oven to 170 degrees Celsius 350 degrees Fahrenheit and line a rectangular baking pan with parchment paper. Pour the batter into the pan, smooth it out gently, and bake at 170 degrees Celsius 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. For an even moister cake, you can add 3 tablespoons of milk. In a large bowl, beat 500 milliliters, 2 cups, of cold heavy cream until it starts to thicken. Then, add 2 packets of vanilla sugar, 8 g 0.3 ounces each, or 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, along with 200 milliliters, 7 ounces, of sweetened condensed milk, and continue beating until smooth. Next, incorporate 300 g, 10.5 ounces, of mascarpone, mixing just until fully combined. The mascarpone gives the cream an irresistible silky texture and a rich, fresh flavor that perfectly balances the cake sweetness. To ensure a stable consistency, we hydrate 15 g, 0.5 ounces, of gelatin in 40 milliliters, 1.35 ounces, of cold water, let it sit for 5 minutes, then gently heat it until fully dissolved, making sure it doesn't boil. Add the dissolved gelatin to the cream while mixing at low speed to incorporate it evenly. Once the cake has completely cooled, spread a generous, even layer of cream over it, smoothing it out with a spatula. To finish, sprinkle shredded coconut, poppy seeds, or even fresh fruit for a beautiful and flavorful decoration. Then, trim the edges and cut into portions as desired. The result? A dessert that is delicate, creamy, and bursting with flavor, a perfect balance between lightness and richness. Ideal for any occasion, whether it's a casual family gathering, a weekend treat, or even a festive celebration. And don't forget, all the ingredients are written in the pinned comment and in the video description so you can easily check them anytime. Before you go, don't leave just yet. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. There are cakes that captivate us with their looks, others with how easy they are to make, and some simply because of their incredible flavor. This recipe has it all. It's delicious, simple, and absolutely irresistible. Let's get started with the recipe. Crack 5 eggs into a bowl. As you can see, one of the eggs had a double yolk. No worries, I mention it because in the video, you'll see 6 yolks instead of 5. Add 3 g, 1/2 teaspoon, of salt and start whisking until slightly foamy. Next, add 200 g, 1 cup, of sugar and continue beating on high speed for about 3 to 4 minutes, until the mixture becomes light and airy. Pour in 40 milliliters, 3 tablespoons, of oil and from this point on, mix gently using a whisk or a silicone spatula, avoiding overmixing. Add 1/4 teaspoon or a few drops of orange essence for a delightful citrus aroma. Finally, sift 150 g, 1¼ cups, of all-purpose flour and 40 g, 1/3 cup, of unsweetened cocoa powder into the mixture. Gently fold everything together until fully combined. I hope you make this cake often. Let me know in the comments how it turns out. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. Share this recipe, give me a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming recipes. Preheat the oven to 150 degrees Celsius, 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Prepare a 40 by 30 centimeters, 16 by 12 inch, baking tray by greasing it with oil and lining it with parchment paper. Pour the batter into the tray, spread it evenly, and tap it a few times on the counter to remove any air bubbles. Bake at 150 degrees Celsius, 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, prepare a syrup by mixing 50 milliliters, 3 tablespoons, of milk, 50 milliliters, 3 tablespoons, of condensed milk, and a few drops of orange essence. Poke holes all over the cake with a fork and pour the syrup over it, allowing it to soak in. Let the cake cool while preparing the cream. Now, let's move on to the cream. For this, we use 200 g, 7 ounces, of unsalted butter at room temperature. Beat it for a few seconds until it becomes creamy. Add 150 g, 1¼ cups, of powdered sugar and a few drops of orange extract. Continue beating on high speed for at least 3 minutes until the mixture is smooth and airy. Using a silicone spatula, scrape down the sides of the bowl to fully incorporate the butter into the cream. Next, add 600 g, 21 ounces, of very cold Philadelphia-style cream cheese. Beat just until combined, on medium-low speed. Do not overbeat, as this could cause the cream to curdle. It's best to mix with a silicone spatula to maintain the perfect creamy texture. Now, take the cooled cake layer and spread the cream cheese mixture evenly over the entire surface. Use a spatula to smooth it out. Place the cake in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Next, we prepare the homemade gelatin. In a saucepan, add 100 g, 3/4 cup, of cornstarch, 100 g, half a cup, of sugar, and 1 liter, 4¼ cups, of orange juice. Mix with a whisk over high heat until it starts to boil and thickens. Once the gelatin is ready and thick, let it cool slightly, stirring occasionally so that it doesn't form a skin. Take the cake out of the fridge and pour the slightly warm gelatin over it. It should be at the right temperature, not too hot, as it would melt the cream cheese layer, and not too cold, as it would already be set. Spread the gelatin evenly over the cake and return it to the fridge for 2 hours before serving. Thank you so much for watching my video. Hope you enjoy this delicious cake. See you next time.